Hey, welcome back to the channel, Tea Times for Two, Golf Travel for Couples. Hi, I'm Scott, and today we're at Bandon Dunes Resort and at Old MacDonald. And today we're going to answer the question, is Old Mac the most polarizing of the 5 courses at Bandon Dunes? And we're going to rate it as a golf destination for couples. So stay tuned. Welcome back. If you're new to our channel, we rate each golf course and each golf resort based on 5 categories with the premise, how good is the resort or the golf course for both a low handicap player and a high handicap player or a woman starting out in the game like my wife, Cheryl. So those 5 categories, first one is layout, and playability for all levels of players. Second category is aesthetics or the wow factor. How beautiful is the golf course? How peaceful was it? How much did you enjoy the day there? Our third category are course conditions, the tee boxes, fairways, greens, cart paths, general upkeep of the golf course and the resort itself. Is it run down or is it well kept? Is it a 5-star resort? Fourth category is amenities. What all does the golf course or the resort offer besides golf? Does it have other sports or other activities? Do they have restaurants on site? Do they have a spa? Do they have a locker room with shower facilities? I know it's important. It is to us, especially to other couples out there where you want to play in the morning, that you fly out that afternoon or that evening. So can you take a shower and change before you go to the airport? Things like that. So that's what we're rating in amenities. And then category 5 is value or bang for the buck. How much value are you getting for what you pay? Again, we don't mind paying premium prices as long as you're getting a 5-star elite golf experience or resort experience. But how much value are you getting at this place? How much bang for the buck can you expect? All right, let's get started. Our first category is layout and playability. I'm going to give the layout 4 stars and playability 2.5 stars because of its difficulty for the higher handicap player or women. Old Mac was designed by Tom Doak and Jim Urbina, and it was designed to be a tribute to famous golf course architect C.B. MacDonald. As you can see, like the other courses at Bandon Dunes, it has 5 sets of tees. The Old Mac, they range anywhere from 4,000 yards up to almost 6,900 yards from the tips. Of the 5 courses at Bandon, it was the one that reminded me most of playing in Scotland. In fact, it reminded me a lot of Prestwick and Cruden Bay with all of the quirks and massive dunes and old massive greens like you'd find at St. Andrews. In fact, some greens you would have putts of 60, 70 yards and you would have swales as high as 10 feet on some of the greens. So it was very reminiscent of some of the old courses in Scotland like Prestwick, Cruden Bay. You might find in Ireland at Royal County Down or Ballybunion, something like that. There was a lot of deep bunkers, both in the fairway and near the greens, and the fairways were really rumpled like you would find in Scotland, like Royal St. George's in England. There weren't many flat lies on the whole course. So that added to the difficulty for the high handicap player if you got in one of those massive bunkers or with a lot of uneven lies, and then you get on the greens that were severely sloped and huge greens. But having said that, there's pathways where you can play around the trouble and you can bounce the ball into virtually every green, and you can use putter from way off the green like most of the courses at Bandon. So in fact, if you take a caddy, they're going to hand you your putter on most of these courses, especially Old Mac. Having said that, the more I play Old Mac, and I've heard other people say the same thing, I think the more that you would enjoy it and learn about its nuances and come to appreciate what Tom Doak and Jim Urbina were trying to do in their tribute to C.B. MacDonald. All right, category 2, aesthetics or wow factor. I'm going to give Old Mac 3 stars. Reason being, you don't have as many, very few, in fact, ocean views like you're going to find on Pacific Dunes or Bandon Dunes. And then, of course, Sheep Ranch is just, wah, wah, wah. You're on the ocean pretty much all day. even compared to Bandon Trails, which is in the trees, and there aren't any real ocean views there, with the exception of a couple. It just doesn't have the wow factor. It looks like it was fit into that ravine there. You have the massive dunes that kind of split the golf course. And for a bunch of the holes, you're down in that flat area. So you don't really have any terrific views. So the wow factor is not going to be as much. Now, if you're going to, and you're wanting a true Scottish link style field, you're going to get it. I mean, massive dunes, humongous bunkers, big greens with lots of swales on them, rumpled fairways. I mean, that's what you're going to get with Old Mac. So if you embrace that, you're going to love it. That's why I said before, I think the more I play it, the more I'm going to enjoy it. It might move up in my rankings of the 5 courses there, which pretty much seems to be the consensus. Either at first you either love it or you hate it. And I think the more I play it, the more I would love it. The cool part about it, if you're a golf architect nut like I am, being a golf coach for 39 years now, you get a lot of templates. You get a Redan hole, you get a Biarritz hole, you get a short hole, a Cape hole, road hole on there. So I think pretty much 15, 16 of the holes, you're going to get a different template. Old Mac starts off with a gentle short par 4, slight dog leg right, big wide open fairways. And that's one thing you will like about Old Mac is the fairways are massive, wide fairways. Now, if you miss them, you're in jail, but they are huge fairways. So number one, short little par 4, great way to start off your round and get in a good frame of mind. But when you get to that green, it's like, hello, when you see the massive slopes on the green and how big the greens really are. Number 3, the iconic hole, I guess it's their signature hole, where you're teeing up over a massive dune. It's probably 60 feet high, very reminiscent of some of the holes we played at Cruden Bay. With that ghost tree, that lone ghost tree out there, and you're like, okay, where do I hit this? It's great. Keynote, hit it just left of the ghost tree, and you can hit anything in your bag. If you hit driver and you mash it, you can end up driving the green because it slopes severely down from there. Now, I got indoctrinated to the greens at Old Mac right here. I hit my second shot into the green. Literally, I thought it was going to be 5 feet, and it caught the side of one of those slopes. And I ended up like 50 feet away because I hit on the wrong part of the green. So again, the more you play it, the more you're going to understand those nuances, and the more you're going to enjoy playing the ball on the ground the way golf was meant to be played, especially on a course like this. Number 5, short, nicknamed short, is a cool par 3, short par 3 with just a humongous green with swales in it. Literally, you think I'm exaggerating, 10 feet, 10 feet high, with some severe breaks on the greens. Now, having said that, the greens aren't fast. You're going to find that they're a lot slower than most of you are used to playing, but they have to be because this course is extremely exposed and the wind can wreak havoc on it. So if they let those greens get fast, they would be unplayable and the ball wouldn't stop. So yeah, you're going to love the size of these greens and the massive dunes in them. Then you get to number 7, and the walk up to the green, you're finally going to get a peek at the Pacific Ocean when you get up top of that massive hill where the green set's perched on top, and you're looking out over the Pacific, and turn around and you're looking back over the entire golf course there. In fact, you're looking over the entire resort, really. It's a beautiful, beautiful vista. Number 8 is a Biarritz tribute hole, or a template hole. It's a par 3 downhill. And if you've never seen a Biarritz hole, like at North Berwick, literally there's I don't know how to call it, a 6 foot deep, 8 foot deep trench in the middle of the green, bisecting the green into 2 different parts. So if that pin's in the back portion, you've really got to bounce it and roll it up that to get it onto that part of the green, which is really cool. Number 9 is a Cape hole, or a Cape template hole. And even though most Cape holes have a water hazard along, it's either severe dogleg right or dogleg left. And there's a water hazard like 18 at TPC Sawgrass, example of a Cape hole, or 18 at Pebble Beach. This Cape hole doesn't have water along the dogleg right, but it's got knee-high grass and just trash over there. Your ball's gone. if you cut off too much of the corner there. So it was a cool hole. Number 12 is a template to a Redan hole, par 3 with a deep bunker on the left, and the green sets cantilevered to your approach into it. So you have to hit a draw into it. It's a really cool hole. Hole 13 is a leaving, nicknamed leaving, and it's a short par 4, and it gets the green. It gets pinched in by 2 massive dunes on either side of the green. Very visually stunning when you get up near the green. Hole 15 is a reachable par 5 that's going back to the ocean, depending on which way the wind's blowing. So they've got a huge bunker that you've got to carry on your second shot in the landing area, but it is reachable for decent length hitters, which is fun. Hole 16 is probably the coolest hole on the course, called Alps, and it's almost identical to a hole on Cruden Bay. Your second shot is blind. It's probably 60-foot high dune on the left. There's a hole at Prestwick it's named after that you can't see the green. If you're center to left center of the fairway, you have no view of the green whatsoever, and you've got to hit over this towering dune with just this little stake up on top of the dune. It's kind of an aiming point for the green. The further right you go, you get more of a view of the green, your approach into the green. Cool part about it, like a lot of courses in Scotland, you get off the green, there's the bell which you get to ring to let the people behind you know that the green is cleared. So that was that was very reminiscent of Scotland. Again, for aesthetics, Old Mac lacks the ocean views you're going to get, especially at Sheep Ranch and Pacific Dunes and Bandon Dunes, but it does have its subtleties. And if you're a golf architect junkie, you're going to love it. If you've been to Scotland, you're going to enjoy it. You probably enjoy it as much as the others. So it's just not as visually stunning as the others. Moving on to category 3, course conditions. We're going to give Old Mac 4.5 stars. And if you've seen our other videos in the Bandon series, you know this comes kind of with an asterisk. If you're going to Bandon Dunes expecting wall-to-wall carpet and just immaculately manicured, that's not the experience you're getting. It's meant to be seaside links golf, and that's what you get. We were there in late November, Thanksgiving week, and the course conditions were excellent at Old Mac. The tee boxes were in great shape. The fairways were in great shape, as you can see on our videos. The greens, massive greens, were in great shape. Everything about the resort at Bandon Dunes is first class. So course conditions, 4.5 stars. Amenities, we're going to give the resort Bandon Dunes itself 5 stars, because pretty much anything you could possibly want self-contained on the resort. Restaurants, lodging, all the courses, practice areas, shuttle to get you anywhere you want, spa, massage center, workout center, hot tub, pretty much anything you could want right there. Old Mac itself, we're going to give 4 stars. It's got a fully stocked pro shop and putting green on site. Also, it's got a new restaurant that we haven't been able to eat at yet, the Ghost Tree Grill, that we're looking forward to. You can see its menu here. So for amenities, 5 stars for the whole resort, and then 4 stars for Old Mac itself. And finally, our 5th category, value. You've seen our other videos in the Bandon series, you know we're going to give value a full 5 stars for when we went, which was the last week in November. We went Thanksgiving week, and the reason we went, as you can see here, the green fees were literally only $100 each. Our room cost us, I think it was $120 a night. Now, this year, when we're going again, Thanksgiving week, it's going to cost us $110 to play 5 of the Golf Digest top 15 golf courses that you can play in the United States. And our room is going to cost us, I think it's $140 a night at the inn. Like I said in our one of the other videos, you can't stay at a Hampton Inn or a Holiday Inn for $140 a night. And it's going to cost us more to stay at the airport in Portland than it's going to cost us to stay at Bandon Dunes. Now, looking at the prices again, the further you get in the shoulder season, in the fall or the spring, the more expensive it gets. It can run anywhere from $175 up to $290 for green fees in the spring. And if you want to go in the summertime where you've got all that daylight and it stays light till 10 o'clock, it's going to cost you about $350. So it's not the same value. I said this in all the other videos, but literally the weather in November, it was in the low 40s when we got up, and we had one of the early tee times each day. During the round, it got up to the high 50s, low 60s the entire time we were there. If you look in the weather in July, you're going to wake up and it's going to be in the high 40s, low 50s, and it's going to get up into maybe the mid 60s. So it's not a whole lot different, but you're saving a whole lot of money. So the value season, late November through February, you're going to get a tremendous value that you can't beat anywhere. All right, so let's recap Old Mac. Currently, Golf Digest rates Old MacDonald 13th, number 13 in the top 100 courses in the United States that you can play. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. Cheryl, what did you think?
Well, I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'd say it's probably a 2 for me.
So we'll get to the why in just a second. All right, so let's go back and answer the question we posed at the beginning. Is Old Mac the most polarizing of the 5 courses at Bandon Dunes? And as you can tell from our 2 scores, you'd have to say yes. I think if you ask 50 different people, you'd get 50 different responses. And I think the more times you play it, I know I would appreciate it even more, and the nuances with it. It's kind of like, and it's meant to be that way. It's the one that's most like the courses in Scotland and Ireland. It reminded me of the ones that we played, especially Prestwick and Cruden Bay, where you have massive dunes, a lot of blind shots, rolling fairways, massive greens like the old course at St. Andrews with buried elephants in the middle of them. So it is polarizing. You're going to get, if you go there looking for tree line fairways, you're not going to find them. If you're going there, just the ocean views that the 3 of the other courses have, or the tree line beauty of Bandon Trails, you're not going to get that. So Old Mac's kind of, it doesn't have the beauty factor that the others do. I think it's the hardest of the 5 too, because it's exposed in the wind. The greens are just massive, and you've got to be an incredible chipper and putter. I hit a couple of shots that should have been within 3 and 4 feet, and they caught the wrong side of some of those slopes, and I ended up 30, 40, 50 feet away. So it is difficult. So why did you rate it so low?
Yeah, it definitely was. I guess, it's very challenging for, I guess, any type of golfer, beginner, intermediate, expert. But, if for somebody like me, I like to take in the views. I like to enjoy. I like the scenery, like you said, the tree line. So it was the first one we played, and it was just not what I was expecting. But at the same time, I mean, challenging is great. Like what you said, I would love to go back and play it,
Here we are.
and see if I can do better. But, the walks are a little more difficult, a lot of uneven surfaces, you're kind of bumping, and, you got your push cart. So, it was a little frustrating for me at first.
Well, she had her first experience with resort golf. We had gone to Myrtle Beach for a couple of weeks, and then we went for a month, and she played a lot of golf, but it's really flat, and most of your lies are flat. And so she's just hitting off flat lies with small greens with gentle slopes in them. And Old Mac is, it's on steroids.
Yeah, and the greens, I was like, what's happening? I've never seen anything like that. We're still on the green. The green's way out here. Yeah, it was huge. But now I'm like, I want to go back and try that again, because I am going to get to try it again. So,
but it wasn't all bad. In fact, it was my lowest score of the week, even though I thought it was the most difficult. Now, we didn't have a lot of wind that day. If we'd have had 25-mile-an-hour wind, it would have been a lot different. And you didn't play that poorly. In fact, you even birdied the one of the signature holes, number 7. Yeah, she held out from what?
Highlight of the
about
trip.
60 yards. I think I'll put a picture of her there posing for the whole crew and the people on the next tee. She holed out from about 60 on number 7, the hole where you come up and you get the first peak of the ocean on Old Mac. So
that's right.
So there you go. She got a patch for her letter jacket for that one.
That's right. I might have to move my rating up a little bit just because of that. That was pretty cool. As always, remember, if this video helped you, hit our like and subscribe button below so that we can keep helping other couples who love to travel and play golf.
All right, and stay tuned to our next video in the Bandon Dunes series as we rate Pacific Dunes. And be sure and keep tuning back into our channel as we continue our travels around the golf world. And hopefully we'll see you on the first tee someday.